Good day, everybody. It's Trent Klarenbach with Klarenbach Research. Today is June the 19th, 2025. And you know what? I like looking at these canola charts. Canola's been a nice run. I've been expecting these prices since last fall. And I was really starting to question my hypotheses back here in September. But remember, September, we suggested this could be a level of support and we could see a rally from there. So hopefully some guys got that message and stayed out of the market. Again, I got it tested. My hypotheses got tested again when I call the China syndrome, when China announced those tariffs, and we had that to open on Monday. That was wasn't looking very good. But it came down to the support, this resistance level, this trend line, and I just starting to really lose conviction in my idea. But the tariffs weren't on seed. And I think that got lost in the shuffle. But anyways, right now we're seeing a nice little run here. We got above that 700 level, found support there. And right now we're trading at that just under 745, we'll say. And take a look at this here. You can remember I identified this gray rectangle back here in April. And that, as a level of possible resistance from 733 up to 745. And the 733, I would argue that it acted as resistance until this past week. And now the price is testing the upper level of this level of interest of mine. That's around 745. So I do think it's going higher. I need it to get above 745. I need a daily, preferably a weekly close above 745. And then, I think it's going up that there's some resistance here at 760 back in, August of 2023. There's something that'll act as some resistance. There'll be some sort of response at the 760 level, likely. And then again, it's around that 775, 780. And then ultimately, I think it could get up to that 800, 798. But I'd be looking to take off some risk at each one of these levels, probably around that 775, 780. And again, at 800, I'd be looking to take off some risk. So I had a couple conversations today about positions, and I stressed with a new subscriber tonight here that the most important aspect of your position is where your stop goes, where you're getting out if you're wrong in your thesis of the trade. And from my own experience, I cannot stress how important the stop is. It's more important than the value at what you enter. And if you are disciplined with your stops and you have them placed and you exit them and stick to your trade plan, you will be successful. When you don't, it'll be disastrous. And I can tell you firsthand experience that you really want to stick with the stops and be disciplined with them, or you will have a disaster and wreck your account. One of the concerns with futures accounts is it's going to zero. Your options expire worthless, or you have a cash call, and you should never have neither of those things. Two things should happen ever with stops. So the advice I give to people when you're getting advice to make a trade, and the individual supplying that advice does not tell you where the stop goes, the initial stop goes, then I suggest they go and talk to someone else and keep asking someone until they find someone who understands how to manage risk properly. And it starts with a stop. So right now, we're just trading just below at 745. It could be, this could be a level of resistance as we anticipated again back here in April. But we want to really see how this week closes out. And, if you enter a position here, and if you want to, short canola, buy a put or buy or short the November contract, you want to ask yourself, where am I getting out if I'm wrong? Because you don't want to be wrong and exiting at 760 or 780 or 800, right? Because you're likely going to have your maximum pain threshold is going to be around those levels somewhere. So it's easier to take the first loss and move on. So where am I getting out if I'm wrong? It's an important level here. I'll put some teasers out on social media and some clips about why, or just questioning why it's important. When you look at this, the Klarenbach Price Index for Saskatchewan, you can see here that the price is at 1587 is what I have on my index, and I have a fib level at 1593, which is really interesting. So, I really want to see how the price reacts to this level. And maybe, again, if we get above there, we're going to get up to that 16, maybe even up to $18, which we've been talking about that for, I don't know, since last fall, $16 to $18 level. Well, right now my index is very close to that, right? So my index hasn't got to 16, but it's damn close. So yeah, I mean, this again, it's another important level. And if you do happen to want to, protect your downside risk, ask yourself this question: where am I getting out if I'm wrong? And I think, you don't have to be, maybe a daily close above 745 or 746. Maybe that's all the risk you need to take if you want to short the market at this. And if you want to re-enter, if your stop goes at 745, 746, and your entry point's going to go, I suggest it goes just above there also. So you can also, re-enter the market above that level. Right now, it's a little tricky. A few dollars here and there per ton that, it's a very important level. But again, I'm babbling here, but pick a stop and stick with it. My name is Trent Klarenbach. It's sunny in Saskatoon. Life's good.